So there is a lot of talk currently going around how the top leading names in Indian cricket don't really participate in the domestic circuit. But given the kind of commitments international players are demanded of today, right from playing back to back international series, because one gets over, the other is ready to be played. Then there are the commercial personal commitments as a leading sports person, brand associations, and all of that. But very much the cricket tournaments that are organized back to back. Do you really think the international players, the names, the top names in Indian cricket, would have the time to again now remove time to play domestic cricket? Looks a little unlikely if you realistically think about it. I clearly remember during the early 2000s when player contracts used to get made, the players used to clearly mention in the contract that we have 6 months of cricket, active cricket being played during the year. The another 6 months is when we have the time to do any kind of brand commitments, endorsements, and all of that. So they used to allot some 90 days for this activity. The rest of the activity was even then allotted to cricketing tournaments, commitments, and all of that. So that demarcation was every time there, even even during as early as 2000, when cricket wasn't was growing in the midst. There was a demand for a lot of cricketing tournaments to happen, and the television channels also then started to see cricket as a lucrative option. Everything really changed with the advent of the IPL. Then you have at least 60 days that a player has to remove for the IPL in a calendar year. Well, that's a commitment because you need to remove at least that many days for playing the tournament, participating in it, promoting it, brands, associations related to that tournament. So that is a window that is already blocked out of the 12 months. Then you have the BCCI led all the main tournaments, the cricket tournaments that India participates, that you need to be a part of it. So, I mean, where is the time? I mean, ideally, they should be playing. But what ideally we should be looking at is we should be creating players who are what do you call it, format specific players. Like you have players who are specifically now being groomed to only play test cricket, so they don't kind of feature in the T20 or the ODI format, so that there is those players also have some time here for themselves. Going forward, it will be very difficult to imagine players playing for the national side for 18 years, 20 years. I mean, that's going to be a foregone conclusion. I don't think that kind of longevity players would have going forward if they're going to play all the formats. Looks a little difficult going forward. So the future, clearly, the only way in which it could be done is that the BCCI creates format specific players who are then the entire year devoted to a particular format, and ensure that, for example, they are only being groomed for red ball cricket, for test cricket, playing for India. Ensure that that particular format is also well compensated in terms of money, so that the player doesn't feel that he's losing out on opportunities to make a better livelihood playing an IPL or formats or other international opportunities.